Folks, we're back at snakerant.com again. I wanted to spend a few minutes on some very serious stuff. You notice our snakes have been put up. Not a lot of noise in here except me, and I still want to rant and rave some more. That's what this site's all about, rambling, ranting, and raving, but trying to make some serious points. You know, in this term that we're facing right now, from the past 4 years, there's a lot of activity that scares the heck out of me. I think there's criminal activity. I really believe there's some treasonous acts that were done, and someone needs to be held accountable for that. The little people in our society are held accountable for all sorts of things, but many of the people, especially in the leadership at the top, they think they're exempt from the regular laws that the rest of the people have. In fact, Congress thinks it's exempt, you know, different retirement plan, different insurance plan, different benefit plan. I think they all need to get back together on the same thing that the rest of America gets. And career politicians, no good. It wasn't intended to be that way. We've got people there that should have been kicked out months and years ago. That's up to their constituency, but I think the laws need to be looked at and revisited about term limits. I think we need to be a lot harder. But on these criminal and treasonous acts, it's not right. If there were absolutely criminal laws broken, if the Constitution was usurped without any authority and no one has stuck their hand up in the air and cried foul and set up special prosecutors, investigative committees that are serious about taking information and doing something about it. That's what we have to have if we're going to clean our country up. We need to wipe out corruption so we don't look like a third world country. We need to clean up our act and, again, get that private sector sizzling by kicking out superfluous regulations and crazy projects that have nothing to do with the production of our country. We can always get rich and crazy again, but right now we're in a survival mode. We have to do what we have to do. And I'm all for having special prosecutors. I didn't think I'd ever say that because they can drag things out forever. They need to have a targeted agenda, take the evidence they can, investigate it as thoroughly as possible, as rapidly as possible, and kick the scoundrels out when they're found guilty. I'm sick and tired of the biggies getting off of everything. I love rich people, but I don't think they should come to Congress poor and leave very rich. Something wrong with that picture, especially from the Founding Fathers and the constitutional days, attitude and writing skills. We have a wonderful document. It's taken us this far. I don't know why in the world people are trying to abort the Constitution. It's outdated somehow. It's worked great for all these years. That's why we have a Supreme Court to help us interpret it. But the Supreme Court needs to straighten up and go, wait a minute, we cry foul. The Constitution and the administrative branch of our government, or even the legislative branch, are not playing fair according to the constitutional rules. Someone needs to enforce the fact that we're way out of line in everything we're doing right now and get the corruption out of there. Prosecute. You know, it still bothers me all the way back to the last election when I saw two Black Panthers in front of what appeared to be a movie theater voting area with billy clubs, and they looked like SWAT team members, and, you know, clearly interpretation and intimidation. It didn't take a rocket scientist or a brain surgeon to figure out that they were well within the restricted bounds of the voting area, and they were literally running people off. They even challenged the cameraman that was taking it from Fox News. No prosecution. How does that be? You know, the Attorney General of the United States has to be pure. Has to be pure. This one's not, folks. The leadership in the White House has to be pure. Not happening. More scoundrels, more crap going on than we could ever imagine in history. I'm so amazed at how many people talk about all the evil stuff that's coming and how we've lost our power to do anything about it. We haven't lost power. We own the government. It works for us. We've got to get back to where things are in balance along those lines. A government for the people, of the people, and we own it. Let's get out and get this thing done. And if there's vetting to be done, I bet we never have a president again or a candidate that hasn't been thoroughly vetted. We've learned our lesson real hard. I hope we come out from under it. We may not. Please accept the fact that we all need to bond together, bind together, work together in a unified fashion. And when this is election over, we need to become undivisive. Sure, we're throwing punches and getting tacky like any campaign. That has got to stop. We've got to pull together and save our world, save our country. The whole world depends on America. We have been the freedom deliverer and the protector of everybody that was too weak to keep their neighbors out of there. So please twist your Congress representative, congressional people, Senate and House, even at the state level, to do things right. Plan on not being there forever, and fight corruption at every level, but especially at the halls of Congress itself and in the White House. We've got to fight corruption. And cronyism's got to go. Inside deals have got to go. We're looking again like a third world country. This is America. It's not right. Please, please, please start squeezing everybody that has an elected office to do right. And we will save our country, and we won't have to make the sacrifices I'm hearing about that are scaring the devil out of people. I'm not here spreading fear. I'm spreading reality from my opinion of what I see and hear and watch around me. Saw my companies go. A lot of people are laid off and fearful of more layoffs. We're not out of this problem or out of the woods by a long shot. Some of the results of the things that have happened in the last 3.5 years are going to take possibly decades to get corrected. But we can get after it, and we need to start right away. So I just want to share some opinions rather directly that I think we need to kick the scoundrels out. And in my opinion, anyone who voted for a bill in Congress like the health care bill, who didn't read it from stem to stern and understand it thoroughly and still voted to pass it, throw the scoundrels out. That's a tough way to look at it. It's tomfoolery. None of us in our lives could get by without reading something and just voting to get it done or signing it. It's crazy. I've never seen a Congress or a Speaker of the House say, let's vote it in, we'll find out what it says later. That was possibly the most idiotic thing I've ever heard, in my opinion. So let's band together. Let's get this thing done, and let's get on with this next year, cleaning house and getting things back to normal as American with pride and production. Appreciate you coming to Snake Rant. Don't forget to donate. We love America. We love you guys. Thanks a lot.